Helo, Geraint Iwan dwi, a Mae S4C wedi gofyn I fi I addysgu chi am rai o brif chwaraewyr carfan Cwpan y Byd 1958 Cymru. Heddiw, da ni wedi drafod Cliff Jones, heb os un o chwaraewyr mwyaf llwyddiannus ar lefel clwb oedd yn y garfan yma. Swn i'n medru disgrifio stori efo chi, a swn i'n neud o dda, dwi'n siŵr. Dych pwy sy'n esbonio fo well? Cliff Jones. Felly, awn I weld o.
My name's Cliff Jones. She's getting some what I call the old trophy and some bit.
I'd like to start talking about this cap that's on the wall over here. Your father's cap.
Yeah, that's my father's cap. Ivor Jones, he played for Swansea at West Bromwich as well. And of course he played for Wales, and that's the Welsh cap over there. And of course he didn't realise he'd had that Welsh cap, and just looking through bits and pieces, as sometimes you do in a house, and this cropped up. First of all, we thought it was a dead parrot. But then when it was all put out in all its own glory, it was his Welsh cap.
How old were you when you started?
I played for Swansea Boys. In fact, I captained Swansea Boys, and Swansea Boys always had a strong sort of schoolboy team throughout the years, and we went on to win the Welsh Shield and the English Shield as well. So I got the schoolboy double, if you like. I signed on for Swansea, and which was something I had a great 5-6 years with Swansea, playing with possibly one of the greatest players there's ever been, the golden boy of Welsh football, Ivor Allchurch. He was special, he was Ivor.
How was it? What was it like playing with him?
Well, it was just a complete joy to play with him. And I have to say as well that the vetch field, as people of that time would remember, was overlooked by Swansea Prison. And it was always said that when Swansea were playing badly, the prisoners were made to watch Swansea play as part of their punishment. They could hear cries of, oh, anything but that, not watching the Swans. And
What about the pitch itself? We've heard stories that the pitch of the vetch could sometimes be nearly unplayable, even though you still had to.
Dear old vetch, yeah. We weren't far from Swansea Bay. In fact, we'd been better off playing on the beach and on the vetch field. What we had to do then, which some people didn't realise, that you had to change your football a bit then. You couldn't start running it so much with the ball. You had to chip it around a bit more then because of the conditions. And yeah, it was more skillful than most people sort of give that era credit for.
So how old were you when you got your first cap for Wales?
I was 19 when I got my first cap for Wales, yeah. And that was against Austria in Vienna. And my second cap then was against England. And that was at Ninian Park. And well, Jimmy Murphy was the team manager and forgot my football boots. And I got in touch with my wife, said, can you bring my football boots up? And she said, yeah. And so I got the train up from Swansea, and in the end, Jimmy, it must have been about half hour before the kick-off, and Jimmy Murphy said, look, Cliff, he said, look, we're playing against England now. He said, can you go and get yourself change? He said, I said, well, Jim, the trouble is, I can't get change. He said, why can't you get change? I said, well, I forgot my football boots. He said, what? We're playing against England, Stanley Matthews, Tom Finney, Tommy Lawton, and you're telling me you forgot your effing football boots? He said, well, you better do something about it now. And anyway, I went back out, and my wife was there, and she had my football boots, thank goodness. After that, whenever we met up with the Welsh team, the first thing Jimmy Murphy would say to me, he said, have you got your boots? He would never let me forget that. And over a matter of years, that was as well. Have you got your boots? Yeah.
Then, I believe in 1958, you signed for Spurs. And what's the story about your debut, a big debut against the Arsenal, where they wouldn't let you in?
Yeah. Well, at that time I was doing my national service. I was stationed in St John's Wood, and I made my way over from St John's Wood, and anyway, I got to the marble halls of the Arsenal, and the big commissioner sort of wouldn't let me in. He said, no, I can't come in. I said, look, Cliff Jones, I said, I've just signed for Tottenham. And he said, yeah, I've heard that one before. Still won't let me in. So I sent a message anyway. A message got into Bill Nicholson, and it's now about kick-off at 3 o'clock. It's about 2:30. And he's coming out, and he said, yeah, he said, that's him, he said. He said, well, good to see you, Cliff, and look at his watch, and by the way, you're late. Thanks very much. You wouldn't let me in, now I'm late. Welcome to the First Division, Cliff. Yeah. Anyway, we drew 4 each that day, and I had a blinder.
Good. 1961 was a huge year, of course, when you won the double.
It was, yes. It was sort of, we were the team to see, and not only were we effective, we were also attractive football. And wherever we went in that period, in the 60s, the early 60s, the gates were closed, because we were the team to see. We were special times, really.
You had 3 years, I think, successfully with Spurs, where you won the double in 61.
61, yeah.
They won
the
FA Cup in 62, a Cup Winners' Cup in 63.
And the Cup Winners' Cup in 63. And also in 1967 won the FA Cup again in 67. So the 60s they were special times. And there was a connection with us, with the supporters. We weren't earning that much more money than the supporter. And after a game, we were along Tottenham High Road. You had the corner pin, you had the Bell and Hare, a couple of pubs. We'd be in there having a few drinks with the supporters. And there was an attachment between the player and the supporter, which you don't get these days. It's a different world these days.
Yeah. Dim rhyfedd bod Cliff dal yn cael ei gyfri fel gymaint o arwr efo cynogwyr Spurs, gan iddo fo ennill y dwbl, yr FA Cup ddwywaith wedyn, a bod yn rhan o'r tîm cyntaf Prydeinig erioed i ennill Cwpan Ewropeaidd.